Pastor Rick, will you give us our evening prayer?
Father God, we thank you for this day and we rejoice in it because you have made it. Father, bless these proceedings as the city strives to make progress, that they wouldn't stumble or swerve from your will and your way. Lead, guide, and direct these decision makers today. Bless these proceedings. We pray these things in the strong name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. We remain standing, please, for our pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Mr. City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mayor McClinton.
Present.
City Attorney Pete Stevenson.
Here.
City Treasurer Suter. Here. Councilor Bruce.
Here.
Councilmember Cat. Councilmember Croom. Councilmember Croom. Councilmember Harris. Councilmember Harris.
I heard from Ms. Harris. She said she wouldn't be in today.
Councilmember Hope.
Here.
Councilmember Hutchison. Councilmember Hutchison. Councilmember Muhammad.
Present.
Councilmember Mundy.
Here.
Councilmember Murray.
Here.
Councilmember Wheelis. Here. Got 7 out of 10
We
present.
have 7 out of 10 present. That's enough for a quorum. Have you all reviewed the CDBG rehab bids? If you hear, can I get a motion second to refer them back?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll stand the corrections to our minutes.
Motion approved is submitted.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Old business, Mr. City Attorney?
This is second reading of an ordinance granting a special use permit for the property located at 1400 Ingram, permitting a 150-foot tall communications tower in a C2 open display commercial district.
We're here to read for a second time. It'll be back for its final reading in 2 weeks. Also, during new business, we got 4 permission requests and 1 ordinance that we want to add. We went through it in pre-council. Can I get a motion and second to approve just to add them to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? They are added. I guess Mr. Attorney, we'll go with that. 01, same call.
Yeah, we need a motion for a title only, or may read it all the way.
Motion.
I guess.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's read by title alone.
Thank you. An ordinance waiving competitive bidding for repair of the sinkhole at 300 Shopping Way Boulevard, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Can I get a motion and second to suspend the rules and place it on the second reading?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
All right.
Wait a minute. Abstain, we only got 6. You don't need to vote, Mayor, to put it on.
You need to vote to get it to its third reading, but when it comes down to actually voting to pass it, then.
I'll abstain at that point.
All right.
All right. An ordinance waiving competitive bidding for repair of the sinkhole at 300 Shopping Way Boulevard, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Can I get a motion to further suspend the rules and place it on the third reading?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed?
An ordinance waiving competitive bidding for repair of the sinkhole at 300 Shopping Way Boulevard, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Can I get a motion and second to approve?
So moved. Second.
Let me give it a brief explanation. What this is about a 30, I won't say 30 feet, but 20 feet hole in the ground behind. Yes, ma'am, deep. It's dangerous. We got some barricades around it to keep it, try to keep people out of it, but that's not holding up right now. So we want to get this taken care of and get it fixed and repaired. And the MPO director, city engineer, she needed this passed so we can move forward with getting that hole taken care of quickly as possible to make sure our citizens are safe. Now, Councilman Cat,
I'm sorry, sir.
did you want to abstain? Especially abstain, I'm getting ready to call the vote if there's no more discussion.
I will abstain from the vote since it abuts property from my board.
Okay, we'll call the roll and cause I'm doing. Ms. Patricia, did you?
I had a question. I didn't catch who made the first vote, the first time, first reading. Who voted?
I think it was,
Who seconded?
I did.
Thank you.
Was there any further discussion with that, item? Hearing none, call the roll.
okay. Alderman Bruce,
Yes.
Alderman Cat,
Abstain.
Alderman Croom, absent. Alderman Harris, absent. Councilmember Hope,
Yes.
Councilmember Hutchinson, absent. Councilmember Muhammad,
Yes.
Councilmember Monday,
Yes.
Councilmember Murray,
Yes.
Councilmember Willis.
Yes.
Okay, you got 6 yes.
6 out of 7.
1 abstain.
All right, the measure passes. Also, I need a motion and second to approve the emergency clause with the section.
So moved.
Second.
Two.
Section 2.
Section 2.
Councilman Bruce and Councilwoman Muhammad, motion and second. All in favor, aye? Opposed? It passes. When you get that ordinance and number, Ms. City Clerk.
Okay, it's gonna be 2583.
2583.
83.
Permission requests on the ad, the ones we added on the end of these. So, permission for the mayor. What we did last week, we talked about tearing down 2 buildings here in the city of West Memphis, which was 501 Broadway and 801 East Broadway. You all are already approved to tear down the Railroad Depot building. It was in compensation from Main Street about doing some other things with the building, and I'm going to give them opportunity to present what they wanted to, as an alternative for its demolition. Well, thank you, Ms. Abernathy.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for having us back up here and giving us another opportunity to talk to you about 801 East Broadway. Just a quick recap.
Excuse me, could we have your name?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm Jack Poff. I'm the Main Street President, and Ms. Deborah Abernathy, our Director. Quick recap, several years ago, our board was looking at adding a plaza as part of what we have to showcase some of our KWIM information. And 2 years ago, when it became clear that Regions didn't want any more improvements on their property, we identified this building specifically and reached out to their owner. That owner has since agreed to donate the property for this cause. That happened just this week. But so this is something where we feel like we can help continue to bring interest to downtown by adding this open-air plaza. And we, this year, have been instructed by Secretary Hurst where we can do a big, use our grant funds for some type of big project like this. And so we're asking that instead of y'all spending $25,000 to knock this building down, that you give us just a small fraction of that to help just get it swept out, and we can do all the decorating and things like that. Something to keep in mind is that we need buildings in the Main Street area so that we have contributing buildings so that we can actually have a group and continue to get those state resources to be able to contribute to the corridor. And I don't think you're going to be able to bulldoze your way into some type of economic vitality. I think bulldozing it takes a negative, turns into another negative, whereas we have an opportunity to do, to turn it into something positive.
Excuse me. I just want to add that we also, in the Main Street corridor, we have opportunities for historic tax credits. Right now, if any more buildings do come down beyond what is already being discussed, it would take that historic tax credit away from us, which is what encourages people to come down and rehab a building. They get 20% from the federal and 25% from the state. There is no tax benefit for a blank piece of property or building something on that property. And that's our goal, is to maintain our buildings and to keep them vital and hopefully get them rented or bought, but that also maintains our history. So that's key, also is the tax credit for future growth.
I do have a question. I'm sorry, Mr. Holt, if you want to go first, go on.
All right, what would you have, what can you do with those two buildings that we're talking about? What purpose would they be, the two buildings we're talking about now?
Well, we're only discussing one.
We had looked at trying to get investors for the old depot.
Okay.
And that one is just not realistic for us to be able to try to maintain or fix up or flip into something that's a productive property, and we couldn't find investors to do it either. At 801 East Broadway, which y'all should have photos in your packet from artist renderings, that would become an open-air plaza where we,
I didn't get that in my packet.
You don't have them?
I didn't get that in my packet.
Oh, okay.
I don't have them either.
some of the pictures are right there for you, Mr. Holt. But that plaza would be open to the public and could be a vibrant space, whether, a local local choir or high school, junior high band wanted to have a performance there. We would definitely be able to have our Blues on Broadway series there. A farmer's market could be in there. We are not developing the back half of that building. We will have it cleaned out, and that's something we could definitely add to a later phase. But there is retail potential on that back half for a coffee shop, something like that. And just completely honest, 5-10 years from now, if someone wanted to purchase that building from the city because they've seen we've saved it and turned it into a vibrant retail opportunity, we would be willing to discuss that with y'all, and we can set that kind of in the contract to begin when they donate it.
I have
Ms.
a
Muhammad?
question. Lorraine Muhammad, what I would like to know is, when was this project first being discussed with you? Was it just currently, or has it been a number of years when you first?
We have been talking about this building specifically 2 years ago,
Okay,
when it looked like Regions didn't want to pursue any other development at the Regions Plaza. We've been in contact with the owner for about a year. In fact, when I was talking with him, he told me I was the only person from the city to tell him that his building was going to come down. And I had to advise him I'm not from the city. But he is definitely on board with this. And then only in June of this year did we receive instruction from the state level that we had the authority to do a bigger project and spend more than we normally spend on grants to do something like this.
I guess my only concern is that it's right there on the corner. Will it be closed in with plexiglass or any kind of front coverage to keep people from going in? And, we have a lot of people who like to make places their home at night. So that's my concern.
Yes, ma'am. Currently, you could do that now. So we would prefer to have it open so that people could see inside of it, and so we could keep it swept out. We have a contract with the 8th Street Mission, or an agreement with the 8th Street Mission, where they would visit the property on a weekly basis and keep it clean for us and keep an eye on it.
So what you're saying is you have no problem with homeless people or whomever are going in there to sleep at night or anything of that nature?
I'm saying we are going to keep it open unless otherwise advised, so that it's easier to maintain. I think putting a lock on it just adds an extra layer of complication, and I don't think that would keep people out or keep homeless people off any property in town, honestly.
I got a question. Well, not a question. Mr. City Treasurer.
Who owns this property right
His name is Raymond Hall.
Are there any liens or anything against this property?
He didn't mention any liens. I would assume if we were to take the property by donation, in the contract that we would have the city attorney draw up, it would be contingent upon clear title, and we would pay for the title search.
Yeah, we would,
Main
we
Street
we
would.
we would be wanting a title cert, see that there was nothing wrong.
Right, so we would have that in the
from title.
contract.
My
that it
big
would-
question is, do we want to take the liability of insuring this? It'll be donated to us, and that's my issue. Is it going to be donated to Main Street or the city of West Memphis? And who's going to pay the liability insurance?
So that is something we would ask y'all to take on, would be added to the liability insurance of the rest of your properties.
That's my big issue, is just liability that we have to our citizens or whoever walks up to me.
Well, we have governmental immunity for negligence, obviously, and that's statutory and under the Constitution. So, I mean, we do have some protection from the state legislature, but you're right. I mean, you have to maintain, upkeep any property that's donated. It's just like the property we had donated over here on Avalon. You have to look at those things before you accept the property.
And if I can jump in, one of the things we love about this spot is that it is brick and steel beams across the top. We're not looking to add a roof. We want to leave it open because we feel like it is very easy to maintain as is.
Also, you saying New Main Street have enough money to take care of this project?
Well, fortunately, we got more grant funds this year. And that is something that we did last year, and it was very difficult to spend because, you know, we do take care of our retailers and our business owners, and it's unfortunate you can't see where that money goes. It goes towards roofs and windows and doors and paint. This would be a big statement. And we have other grants that we're looking at that are substantial that we think we could benefit from this. But might be a phase of 1 and 2, but I think that we can pull it together. And we would certainly have the support of the state.
Is there any more questions?
I really do love the idea of what you have here. I think it's something very beautiful that would be good for our city, but on the flip side of that coin, I'm just really, really concerned, knowing the makeup of our city, which is a beautiful city, but of course, within beauty, you do have a little bit of unattractiveness as well. I just wouldn't want to be driving home or driving anywhere at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning and just see so much ruckus going on inside of there. That's the idea. I love it. I really, really do. I think it would be wonderful, but that's my hesitancy right now. I'm just thinking on it.
May I ask a question? Do we have a problem with homeless people sleeping in our parks or on park benches?
No, but this is something totally different. This
Okay.
this facility would be like, you know, an open invitation for something. So I'm just exploring in my mind what I want to do when it comes down to the vote. That's all.
Well, certainly it wouldn't be weather protected, because we're talking about
Right.
an open ceiling. So I don't think it would lend itself too much, especially during seasons that are not pleasant. But we do plan on maintaining it, you know,
Right,
making
right.
sure that it stays clean, that nobody is sleeping in it. I do notice that further down at one of the home away, it's not occupied. I do see people sometimes sitting under the shaded area, but I've never seen anybody sleep there. That's just getting away from the weather, but, you know, there's always that possibility.
Right,
But
well,
we
we
want
have-
to
we
do what
have
we
a-
can to prevent that.
We have police officers in the room, and I would not call on any of them to divulge some of the things that they see in these homes that are vacant, but I know they can give us nightmarish stories. So that's just my only concern, that's all.
Oh, Go ahead.
Excuse me, go ahead, Mayor.
No, I was getting ready to call them, getting ready to see what's that motion on second.
This is gonna be kind of like a little theme area for the music and the industry. This city's rich with a lot of blues. And I can sit down, there's several of us could sit down in here right now, and it's unreal that it's not even acknowledged. But this city is rich in music.
I agree, it is definitely rich, and that's why I want to look at the possibility of doing something with the old courthouse. But, is there a motion in a second to try to do what they want to do? If not, we're gonna go ahead with the vote to tear it down. Is there a motion in a second?
I will, out of my heart of hearts, make that motion.
Okay.
I'd like to say one more thing. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this idea. It's been one of the most exciting ideas since I've been here for 9 years. And I hope that when we hopefully get to have a chance to come up with another really good idea, that we can work with you and the city council and the mayor. So this just gives you an idea of what we are capable of doing. And our goal always is to keep roads to 14th very a vital area for businesses and to encourage the continuation of new development.
I also like to say before you, Mr. Ho, the mayor is always here, so you all had something. I mean, don't wait till the fourth quarter. I'm always in office, whether it's Todd Peterson, Jim Jackson, Amanda Hicks, Chief Pope, any one of my department heads, they are able to come to me and see me at any time. So my door is always open if you got some in the future. Mr. Hope.
Well, I appreciate you doing the research and showing us what can happen, because that's really what we need more of in West Memphis is ventures that will show who we are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Councilman Cat.
You've indicated that you have tentative grants. You haven't applied for anything. You haven't received anything.
We do have grants right now coming from the state that we have available to us at this
Specific
point.
to this project.
It can be used for that project. We
Okay.
got permission through the state.
But in that case, are we going to use all the grants you have on this single project, and none of the other business owners will receive any portion of the grants? Or?
Business owners will come first. But I will tell you, it's very difficult to get a business owner to apply for our grants because the statistics, the way that they're supposed to apply, they have to pay for the product on the front end, and then we reimburse them some of it. And so that's been one of the problems why we haven't been able to spend the grant in the way we want to. Usually we get $15,000. This year we got $22,000. I do have two retailers that are asking for some help, but there are other grants that we are looking at to apply for that are much bigger.
You're looking to apply, but no guarantee you'll receive.
Well, no, but.
Is there any reason why an existing business owner who cannot work with some unrelated third party to do the funding and then the grant come in and reimburse?
I guess if they wanted to. That's
But
not.
is that something you brought forward to them, to try to find funding for them?
Absolutely. We try in every way to break it down so that they can afford it. If they want to do a roof and they can't put out $10,000, then we ask them to buy the product, and then we'll help them with the product. And then if they get the person that's licensed to come and do the roof, then we help them with the labor. And that gives them more money, instead of just saying, okay, we're just going to give you this much toward the $10,000.
I guess my problem is the relationship between Main Street and the council to me has not been there. There's not been this constant line of communication of, this is what we accomplished the last quarter, here's what we're planning on doing for the next quarter, here's our goal for the next 5 years, until this. Now, all of a sudden, we're having a conversation.
Well,
And I'm saddened that that hasn't happened,
Well,
because
I'll
I
be-
think your project and what you're doing has been good,
right.
but can we not do more?
Well, of course, we always want to do more. Most of our interaction as Main Street is with the retailers. And, you know, we have also put up Christmas trees and lights and banners and flags, and we've worked on the landscaping, which is not necessarily a council issue, but if you want to know what we're doing on a regular basis, I'm happy to share that with you.
I want to try to find a way to help the mom and pops thrive and grow, hire new employees, and I wish we'd have more relationship and a conversation on what we can do as a group to accomplish that task instead
Absolutely.
of a single project.
Well, absolutely, and I think we should all be part of the economic development plans together. Now, we can't help the retailer get employees, but we can help them keep their business and their building up so that they can stay in
We can help them grow and
business.
prosper, they'll hire employees.
Excuse me?
If we can help them grow and prosper, they'll hire employees.
Right.
So, all right, again, the concept of the total scheme of Main Street, is remarkable, and I appreciate it. But I still think we need to meet at least once a quarter to surround and do some short-term and long-term planning to help everybody accomplish some goals that are out there.
I agree. Councilman Wheeler?
Yes, I have a question. I know y'all did the water tower, and
No, the city did the water tower. We are not connected to the water tower. Mayor Johnson came to the city council and requested the funds to put the water tower in an art form. The only thing I did was be the go-between the mayor and the artist. They'd come to the office, we'd sit down and Zoom, and we would talk to the artist. That was it.
Mayor hired the artists to do the work.
I had no say in the design or the money spent or how. That was strictly the mayor. And yes, we're happy to have it on Main Street, but it is not ours. The city owns that property.
Just I guess this question, what is the total cost for this?
We're still putting the price together.
You have,
I mean, we know it's gonna have to be in phases, but we know we've got a certain amount of money that we can go in and immediately start some things.
I guess I'm just trying to ask the city treasurer, because you in the construction business as well as you, Mr. Caddy, and Mr. Monday. What do you think a project like that would cost to clean everything out of there and then show up the beams going across the top and paint it? What you think that would cost?
Yeah, without doing a thorough inspection, I couldn't begin to answer that question.
Depends if we need abatement on the roof for asbestos.
There's no roof. And we've had our architect come and look at the steel beams.
Plastic around it, that's what I'm talking about. When the roof gets to the sidewall, has it been removed?
On the outer wall, there's nothing on the bricks. There's a little bit on the inside, but our architect looked at it and said it was not viable. I mean, it didn't interfere with the inside.
But there's nothing further on that, the city clerk, will you call the roll?
Well, before you call the roll, please clarify what we're voting on.
Well, what you all voting on is to us, to not to tear it down and accept their plan to do this, I guess, in phases, is that correctly to say? And I guess, be sure, one thing I do want to be sure, whatever you all do, make sure that Main Street is paying for it, Main Street has the money to pay for it. And right now, not knowing how much it costs, but it's you all the situation.
I just want to make sure we clarify what we're voting
Okay.
on.
Well, we voting on the go with this plan.
Okay.
Sure, city
Let me
clerk,
ask
I'm
you
sorry.
one question. Like for the project that you're doing, which I know for its historical building, and I guess since the roof is out now, it's not considered. You know, for us getting money to restore historical lands, I mean, will y'all be able to do that? Because I know I talked with the people at the historical district there in Little Rock, and they have monies to come in to help West Memphis. I'm talking about, you know, for its the historical building. And we got quite a few here in West Memphis. And the only thing that really bothers me more than anything is, and I grew up here in West Memphis, Mr. Murray grew up here, and I'm quite sure some of the others here grew up here in West Memphis. I'm talking about back in the day when West Memphis was really full of a lot of live entertainment. And and Mr. Jackson can tell you back there, for the last 4, 5, 6 years, I've been talking about trying to revitalize 8th Street, which now we're letting all the buildings gotten away from us now. But to me, we have a rich history here in West Memphis, and we need to find some sort of way to kind of revive it. Now, that's where I am with it. I mean, regardless of what building it is, but and even in the talks about, you know, the old city hall, like I said, somewhere along the line, I think we need to do a little bit more to kind of reserve our history, because we have a lot of history in West Memphis. I mean, I can tell you some spots here in this city, and even the police themselves don't even know what used to be in those areas. Well, I'm quite sure Mr. Wheaters know because he hid the boxes around here for years.
Right.
But I think we need to find a way to kind of revive our history here. And Mr. Jackson back there, he'll tell you for the last 5 or 6 years, that's one of the things that I've been talking about. And to me, was I do a lot of traveling, and I understand what y'all talking about doing, but at the same time, like the mayor say, if it's not going to be on the city itself, then you see what I'm saying? I mean, because if you're going to be able to get the money, that's one thing. If you're not, then that's another. So that's just where I am on that. I just wanted to put that out.
I just thought about 2 quick things. I thought about what Councilman Kett said. It's not a council member on your board.
No, but we've had Paul Luker's assistance was our go-between and on our economic development.
I would think for future references, a city council member, I think it would build a better relationship and how consistently communication,
Sure.
like all the committee reports, we have someone to serve on it, that's something that needs to be considered. And also, who do you report to?
Jim Jackson.
To city, right? Okay. That's
But
what
I
was-
also report to the state for Main Street because it's a nonprofit.
Okay.
He's gonna have one else.
All right. Well, we look down the board. Call it, Rob, for me.
Okay. Councilmember Bruce,
No.
Councilmember Cat,
No.
Councilmember Croom, absent. Councilmember Harris, absent. Councilmember Hope,
Yes.
Councilmember Hudson, absent. Councilmember Muhammad,
Yes.
Councilmember Mundy,
No.
Councilmember Murray,
No.
Councilmember Wheelers.
Yes.
Yeah. 4 noes and 3 yes.
The measure fails. Thank you all. Now I'm going to ask for a motion and second to continue with the demolition that we held off in 2 weeks to go ahead and tear the building down. Can I get a motion and second?
So moved. Second.
Will you call the roll on that?
Okay. Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Cat,
Yes.
Councilmember Croom, absent. Councilmember Harris, Councilmember Hope, Councilmember Hope,
Pass.
Councilmember Hudson, Councilmember Muhammad,
Pass.
Councilmember Mundy,
Yes.
Councilmember Murray,
Yes.
Councilmember Wheelers.
Pass.
Okay, you got 1, 2. Yeah, 4 yes.
Now,
Pass, 3 pass, 4 yes, 3 pass.
we got, that motion fails as well. Now, I ask you all something, who passed? Do you all want to vote? Either you vote yes or vote no? Because in Ward 2, you got a building that's abandoned and vacant over there and looking like it's looking. It's on you all if you all leave there, and we trying to clean up East Broadway. I don't want to vote, or they pass. All right, well, here and now, that the east end of town is not on this mayor. All right. Permission for the mayor to, permission request for the mayor to use the $235,000 sale proceeds from the Tilden Roger Park TVT Tower to purchase Turk's property in front of Hightower Park and 13th and 14th and Broadway to extend Hightower Park. Get a motion and second to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye? Opposed? All right, it passed. Also, I'm asking you all, when we added that, I have permission to sign the purchase and sale agreement with Turk and Pugh Properties on the agenda already. That's the copy that city attorney prepared for us, just to go ahead and officially purchase.
Make a motion to approve the sales contract as permitted,
Yes.
or as presented.
All right, can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, aye? Opposed? Passes.
It's gonna be great that we have a total park frontage
Mm-hmm.
on Broadway.
Yeah. Exactly. They're gonna be great in the hard 14th of Broadway, especially what the engineers talking about doing in that park. Second thing would be West Memphis Police Department want to hire an IT person to do all FOI requests, as well as work with Lola with the computer systems, the whole 9 yards. Like, and we don't have to create another position to do this. We have enough position that's open right now. We're going to use that, so it won't be no more money added to the budget.
Mary Glenn, is that just going to be for the police department exclusively?
Yes, ma'am. Any other question?
This will be a civilian employee.
Civilian portal, yes, sir. Can I get a motion and second to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Also, we did set a pay rate, that pay would be within $50,000 and $60,000. So I go from there.
when will this position be filled now that we have a,
We're gonna post it and get all qualified people, you know, to be able to work with Lola, as well as free up city attorney with the FOI request. So, as soon as we find a qualified person and we do the posting, I'll move forward to hiring that person once I get with chief and move forward. All right, you get the motion in second, Ms. Patricia? All right, city clerk, you call, we're just, all in favor, aye? Opposed? That passes as well. Also, Tori, the finance director, wanted us to add the check. We got the check from Southland Gaming and Casino. We were $28,622.36. Normally, you all divide it between the four. If that's you all wishes, there'll be $7,155. But you all want to add or change something, that be on you all.
this is for the clubs?
Yes, ma'am.
Move that we accept.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Does everyone get all of their, what you call it? Their 990 forms in? Park and Recreation brought to me a resume to add someone to the Parks Commission, which is they just extended his term, which is Mr. Billy Hayes. You all got the resume now. We're not gonna vote for it today. We'll vote for it in another 2 weeks and go from there. Committee reports, A&P?
You got your reports for A&P, I passed them out to everybody.
Okay, yes, you ran them early. All right. Police Department?
Yes, sir. The Police Commission met Monday, August 2nd at 12 noon. Brief narrative, Chief Pope, he said that there will be a police department presentation on drone units and bowler wrap by DJI in the future. Nothing has been done as yet as far as purchasing. I think he said bowler wrap as well. Did you say bowler wraps and drone? Okay, that's what I want to make sure my reporting is right. He also reported that Kirkpatrick LaFleur, one of the 3 courtyard apartment shooters, was captured on Monday, July 26th. The drone unit was used to help find a 4-year-old missing juvenile, which was something great to hear. It was also discussed that former Fire Station Number 3 be used to house a SWAT training facility. No move or decision was made on that discussion. We also discussed the fact that Reverend Banks of Bethel Methodist Church had also come before City Council asking to purchase or use the building for his church feeding program. Pastor Banks' request, though, is contingent upon the Department of Human Services approving that building be used for his feeding program. Chief Pope stated that a bus full of volleyball players traveling from Pulaski County broke down, and the police department, as well as Brother Billy Beach, was instrumental in assisting them until they got the needed help that was needed. Chief Pope reported that he's giving himself 100 days or the next 3 to 4 months before promotion or hiring of any police staff. At this time, he stated he will most certainly adhere to the policy that has already been set in place by the city of West Memphis. He also stated that he has assigned some staff members to do certain jobs until promotional decisions are made. That is the end of that report. You want me to do Parks while I'm at it?
Yes, ma'am.
Parks Commission met July 27th, 2021 at 6:30 PM. I'm going to read first of all a downloaded statement from Mr. Parker from his email. Mr. Parker had a meeting with Parks Commission Chairman Darren McCullen, and he suggested that the entire council be invited to the Parks Commission meeting that was scheduled on this particular day, July 27th at 6:30 PM, which was held at the West Memphis Utility Building Conference Room. This meeting will address some issues that seems to be revolving about the slated bond issue, and there needs to be some clarification about communication. He and Chairman would like to address these needs as far as clarification. He also said that he would include I believe that's Ladd, Gary, the architect chosen to work on the project, in this email, which he was included, so he can attend the meeting as well. Mr. Gary was at the last meeting with the city officials, and most of the council meetings did not attend because of Zoom. Some had a hard time getting onto that particular Zoom site. And at the meeting, Mr. Ladd was there along with a lot of the city council meetings. And in that meeting, the commission discussed their new date and time for the meeting to be held, which is the second Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Utility Conference Room. Also discussed was Hightower and Tilden Rogers Parks. They were discussed at length. The commission, along with the city council, will be responsible for finding monies for the renovation of both parks, as the allotted $9 million will not be enough to complete both parks. Work sessions will be held to discuss how the monies will be spent and if new monies need to be generated in some form or fashion. Also discussed were monies that the Park and Recreation Department should have received from the cell tower project. We just discussed that because he said he was going to meet with you, and I see he did, and mission accomplished. Mr. Parker will be meeting with Mayor McClinton about the issue, and he did. He also discussed was Wi-Fi, workout equipment, and outside furniture being placed in Matthew and Franklin Parks. Estimates are needed, and I believe they are communicating with Ms. Lola at the utility department about getting the Wi-Fi, which would be a great asset, especially since a lot of children are doing virtual learning and they can go out and sit in the park to do their homework while the parents are getting their exercise. It was also discussed that the 10th Street Mini Street Park be named in honor of Sonny Weems, as Mr. Weems has made a donation of $10,000 for the renovation of that particular park. Did he bring that to you, Mayor McClinton?
You talking about Ford, just tell me about what he done?
About renaming that park.
He talked to me about it.
Okay, and that will have to come before
take-
city council. Mr. Billy Joe Hayes was recommended to fill the vacant position on the commission, and his resume has been forwarded to Mayor McClinton, and we got that today. All righty, that's just about the end of my report. If you need to hear any more information concerning that, I believe that he did have a recording that he can give to you. This is just a brief synopsis of what we did. That is the end of my reports.
Thank you. Public Works,
We'll report next week.
report next week. Okay, the chamber or the airport meet. Was there any other committee, budget meeting?
Budget met, but we did not have the updated data for June, so it was the same information we reported the month prior.
Ms. Muhammad?
Right, as far as Public Works, I do have something. There is a constituent who has been having problems almost ever since I have been on council, which has been a pretty long time. Property at 1614 Scottwood. I did get a little picture. This lady is calling. This property is in such, will you pass it around, please? It's in such bad shape. She's calling the city, she's calling everybody, I'm calling. That's the front yard, the backyard is worse. No one is going out to do anything about that property. I wanted to go out and do something about it, but someone said, you better not go on private property. But if nothing is done, I think I'm willing to take my chances. Police officers, you all hear me? If you see me out there, don't arrest me. But this is so deplorable. This is an elderly lady who lives next door to this. And she's calling, she has COPD. She can't go outside and sit on her front porch because of all the mice, rats really, raccoons, snakes and turtles crawling. She's afraid. She's an elderly lady who is sick. And I'm just here before the council today on her behalf, as well as that Mr. Murray, she said she's been calling you, but you've never answered. And I said, don't worry, we'll try and get something done about it. And I mean, she's just calling.
She has not called me.
Okay, well, I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Muhammad, give me the address.
The property that I'm talking about is 1614 Scottwood. All we need to do is for
1614.
someone to go and try and clean that out.
I can go look at it and do as much as we can get done.
So please, please give me respite.
All right? I got you on that.
And I want to help this lady so badly. Thank you so much.
I
Thank you.
definitely will look into
Thank
it.
you.
Also, I did want to add something to the police department. It was a shooting that happened on
Barton and McCauley,
Barton, where a
yes.
3-year-old individual was hit. And I just want to commend Chief Pope and his men and women. 2 of the 3 individuals have been apprehended. We can't release names because those 2 individuals are juveniles. So, but we still currently looking for the 3rd suspect. But we exactly know who that is, and that is an adult. But definitely, I'm sure many of you all have heard it on the news. I'm sure some of you have seen Ms. Muhammad post as well. So we definitely is on top of that. I just wanted to inform people then. But
How is the baby doing?
the baby is recovering fine from my understanding.
I'll talk with you after the meeting.
Okay. All right. Those are the requests for committee report. I had no appointments. I had no presentations. Citizen requests. We're going to start. We have Mr. Jalen Smith. Is he here? He's going to speak on Youth Leadership Conference, the 16th through the 19th of September. Jalen Smith. All right. We're going to move next to, I want to say, Mr. and Mrs. Kelly Fisher. Is that here? I'm sorry, Miss Kelly Fisher. Will you come forward? Rather, if you give your name, your address, and we allow 5 minutes to address the council, ma'am.
Do I have permission to lower this to speak?
Yes, ma'am. You take your mask off.
My name is Kelly Fisher. I live at 527 Belier Drive in West Memphis. I wish that I had spoken before the grant thing happened. I didn't have enough time to research how many council members needed a copy of this, but I have one for you if you would like to see it. Are you Miss Patricia?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, because you helped me get here. I have an opportunity to bring much-needed commerce, revenue, and just taxes to the city for a very much-needed service, a minority-owned business, and I don't need any help to do it. I have the capital saved. My hesitation comes because I have been having trouble with a very specific person who lives at 614 Balfour Road, drives a red Z71 pickup. I have tried and tried to get police help on this matter, and I get none. He, in that package I just gave you as a map, he has very excessively loud pipes that are in direct violation of Arkansas Revised Statute 2737601. But the loudness is not the problem. He's reckless. My street, which he has no reason to be on, he does not live there, he does not stop there, and there are many other direct routes. He only takes it so he can blow his pipes out on a back street. And I've asked him to stop, and he curses me out and does it worse out of spite. Now, he actually comes and stops in front of my house and continues. But I'm not the only person with this problem. I did not have time to post the Nextdoor, print the Nextdoor thread, but at least 20 other people have a problem with this same person. I've called the police department, and they say, call me when he comes. But the problem is, once he's on my street, he's home in a minute and a half, and the police can't get there in time. He does it specifically at the same time every day, twice a day. I've asked for an officer to come and sit, just because I have specific times and have been told no, just call when he comes. And now he knows that they can't get to him before he gets home. So now he sits in his driveway and revs it and revs it. And not only are there children that play on my street around the blind curve that he careens around, anybody who asks him to stop, I tried to get neighbors to come with me, but they're quarantined or were unavailable who have witnessed this. He is on camera doing this. He also lives right next door to what used to be Avondale Park. It's got a new name now. I do not know the new name of the park. But he does that in front of the park with all of the children playing there. And there are 3 blind curves that he takes with children playing that he may hurt. So he's very disrespectful and curses anybody who asks him to stop, and he has no regard for safety. The only thing that I can see solving this is to raise the penalty or the violation on the excessive noise from the pipes, to have more awareness, maybe to ask the police department to station somebody where he is known to be at the time every day, just to get him, just to stop him and let him know that he's putting a lot of people in danger. And he's also sort of terroristic, threatening people when he cusses them out and for asking him to stop. And it's things like this that stop me from opening my business in this town. I'm a transplant. I've been here since 2016 after the Great Flood of Baton Rouge. And I like the town. I like the small. This is the first time I've ever been in front of a small city council. I've always been in front of big city councils, and I love this. I'd actually like to be a part of it. I'd actually like to be a part of the commerce of this city, but I would like some resolution to this problem. I'll give you a second to look. I don't really have anything else to say.
The chief of police is here, and I'm sure while you're here, he'll talk with you and get more information about this situation.
Okay,
Go from there.
I appreciate that. Are you done with me?
If the council have any questions for him? Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll meet with you.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more personal citizen request. Miss Lisa Kofi, will you please come forward, give your name and your address?
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Cuffey, C-U-F-F-I-E. My address is 403 Ingram Boulevard, West Memphis, Arkansas.
I'm Quadras Cuffey. My address is 403 Ingram Boulevard. Also, how y'all doing? We were here for the transportation, for it being.
Yeah, for the transport.
Okay.
Ms. Patricia,
Yes, sir.
was their application put
The
back?
application, the original application with the city attorney,
Okay.
they have now passed all the inspections and received their business license for the healthcare part, which was not.
Okay. The dread building?
It's not at your house, it's at
The dread building, okay. City Attorney Revere, do you have any questions for Mr. and Mrs. Cook?
So I think the last time when you were here, you were requesting that we approve transportation service, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
But we couldn't do it because of this document that city attorney is looking over. And now that you've gotten everything in compliance, you're back again for us to give you your blessings on your transportation
Yes,
service.
ma'am.
I think it's actually, Patricia, go ahead. You go ahead.
Correction. What we have to do is, we have to put an application for a taxi cab or transportation business. You must come, you present your paperwork and all your backup and insurance. And the first time they come before council, when it was in your packet, you're just looking to put a face with the business. So then we always have to notify any competitors with the same business. So that's why they have to come back to it. But what came to our attention was they were not licensed to even have a healthcare business. They are now in compliance now. That's what transpired.
So what are we doing now?
Today, now she's asking for additional licensing to operate a medical and public transportation. That's what that certificate is.
I'm sorry, non-emergency. Non-emergency medical.
Non-emergency. So now we're asking for additional licensing. That's what the initial application was for the transportation part.
Right.
But you couldn't issue a transportation approval if they want a legal business. They're now a legal business.
So I guess.
It's just a matter of voting now to approve or not. Is that not correct, Patricia?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Well, I'll make that motion that we go ahead and grant you your request for the non-emergency transportation license.
Second.
I'll second it.
City Clerk, and what's any other discussion or questions? City Clerk, call the roll.
Okay. Councilmember Bruce,
Yes.
Councilmember Cat,
Yes.
Councilmember Croom, Councilmember Harris, Councilmember Hope,
Yes.
Councilmember Hutchinson, Councilmember Muhammad,
Yes.
Councilmember Mundy,
Yes.
Councilmember Murray,
Yes.
Councilmember Willis.
Yes.
7-13.
Approved, congratulations.
Thank you, Council.
Yeah, we just get the license. Go, when you all go by and see Miss Patricia. Okay. Anyone have any announcements? I have a few announcements real quick. I want to ask you all to please keep our city engineer and NPO director, Amanda Hicks, and her family in your prayers as she goes through, I guess, with her father at this time. So we're going to ask you to keep praying for them. As well as we're going to ask you to keep Miss Lola Alloway in your prayers as well, as she's, her son is in grave condition right now. And I talked to her yesterday, and she was definitely in tears, you know, and Miss Lola's pretty strong to me. So, you know, when she's kind of down like that, that really bothers me as well. And also the family of Jordan Franklin, a young lady I met when I was at Jackson 1. Did she go to Jackson 1?
I've known her since kindergarten. I was when I got that news, when I walked into the office Monday morning, I almost just fainted because
Yeah.
I worked with her very closely from a little girl. Of course, last year she did homeschool, and I had not seen her in a year, but she was, my heart just, I don't even want to think about it, really.
I talked to her mom, me and Jordan took pictures together a long time ago, but she was 11 years old, and she had diabetes, but she died from complications of COVID. So for those who think COVID is not real, some who said it's man-made, or some says it's natural, it's something out there, and it's affecting our children. So we definitely want to keep them in our prayer. Councilman Murray.
Yes, sir, Mayor. I would like to echo what you said. Jordan was one of my students on last year, and even though she was virtual, I've known her for 7 years. And this young lady was very intelligent, very smart, very well behaved. She was a model student, better than model. And like you just said, I would just like to publicly say that this thing is real. And I can't see how we can gamble with our children. So if I can say anything public that would help, parents, please, don't gamble with your children. This thing does not discriminate. Mask up, vaccinate
Please,
to protect
please.
your children. Please do that.
Because I work in a school where most of them are under 12, and they're not required to do the vaccination, and I work very, very closely where a lot of them are right at me, 6 feet or 3 feet, almost every day. And of course, I had COVID last year. I don't know what direction it came from, but I did have it. And it's so important. I don't know if the masks are going to be mandated for children. That was still up in discussion at the General Assembly today. I haven't heard anything since that time. They may be leaving it up to the districts to make that decision. We know what has happened in Marion, and our school will be starting back on the 16th. And of course, a lot of people are not, if parents are told that their children don't have to wear a mask, a lot of them may make them wear them, and a lot of them may not. But we, as administrators in the school district, we cannot make them do it if the state has said they don't have to. But I'm begging and urging everyone, in light of what happened to our baby. She was not at school. We don't know where that came from. But we're asking you to please be cautious and put a mask on your child for their safety as well as everyone else's.
I think they're going to have a candlelight visual for Miss Jordan. Tawana, will you stand up and?
It's supposed to be at Wonder,
Yeah,
from what I
Wonder.
heard.
Tomorrow at 6? Okay, it's going to be
23
tomorrow.
Jackson Wonder, you have to say that because that's what's on the building.
Okay, so it'll be tomorrow at 6 o'clock at Jackson Wonder. And
Would you please stand back up? Is something happening tomorrow at the Civic Center, right? Tomorrow morning?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, this Saturday, at the Civic Center, we are having our first Touch a Truck event. It's an after-school event for our kids. We have over 200 backpacks left for school supply. We will have a list out there tonight of our sponsors. It's from 10 to 12. We will have food, music, downtown support, so we're just encouraging everyone to come out and show your support.
And at the Girls Club as well, at the Girls Club. Or is that the 16th? Is that?
It's actually the same day.
Yeah.
Same day, same time.
yeah. Also, yesterday we had 201 reported cases of COVID in the county. I'm sure many of you all heard, and correct me on the numbers if I'm wrong, but I think it was 732 kids have been quarantined in Marion alone. A little over 800 now. So I'm telling you, if you got 200 reported cases, you probably got another 200 cases that where people haven't went to the doctor or don't know they have it. You can re-catch COVID if you have been vaccinated. But it's better to be vaccinated and catch it than not to have ever been vaccinated and then catch it. I read on the news today that over 90% of this the new cases is the Delta variant. And it's more contagious as well. So I just want all you all to be smart, the citizens of the city to be smart, to pay close attention to this and protect yourself at all costs. Just be safe out here. City Clerk?
Yeah, I got a couple of things, but the other two I just hold over to the next meeting that we have. Last week, unofficially, I met with the auditor, and of course, it was a good report. And some of the things that he suggested that, well, what we need to do is segregate the duties of the treasurer and the clerk. Now, I don't know how we propose to work on that. I mean, city attorney, mayor, y'all can advise us how we need to do that, but he said that some of those duties, some of the duties that upon the clerk is not the clerk's responsibility. They need to be segregated. Now, I can see how it came back. If you take a look at it's not in ordinance form, but I guess the description of it. Well, it's saying, actually, the clerk and the treasurer had the same duties, but he said those duties need to be segregated. Of course, back some time ago, if you remember, the treasurer and the finance director was the same person. So, but he was saying in unofficial, which we'll get it in writing. Of course, I think today he was supposed to meet with you all. Was it today? Yeah. But anyway, he said, I just like for us to start working on those, try to put some things together, because he said those duties definitely need to be separated from each other.
I mean, I'll say that I prepared an ordinance a long time ago, separating those that never got on the agenda for one reason or another. It's probably been a year or close to it, yeah.
Okay.
So I can find it, you know, somewhere on my computer, but I had prepared it a long time ago, and for some reason it never made the agenda.
Okay.
So.
That's about it. I got a couple of, but I just wait till the next
Go
one.
ahead, you got the floor.
No, I just wait till the next one. I'm good
Sure.
on that one. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the recorders. Ms. Lane just reminded me that we have recorders for each chairperson, so you need to come to the office and sign them out, which tomorrow sometime. Yeah.
Can you wait till Monday?
Monday.
We're labeling them.
Okay.
Putting the names on them
Yeah.
and setting up the dates and times so it'll automatically pick it up. And that way, it has a cute little case for you to carry around, not lose it. And that way, each chair will be responsible for the flash drive. Just bring it after your meeting, let us download it and take it away.
City clerk, you got the floor, go ahead.
I'm good. That's it. I'm through.
If that's everything, no one having anything else, can I get a motion second to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? All right, we adjourn.